Since the Roman general Titus conquered Jerusalem in 70 A.D. and destroyed the temple, there's not been a Jewish temple. Yet here we have this 2,000-year-old prophecy. One of them is found in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. The other is found in Revelation chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. And there are several others, but those are the two prominent ones. And they specifically state that at the time of the Antichrist, at the time of the beginning of the final 3.5 years, there must be a temple standing on the Temple Mount. I've been privileged to go to Israel many times over the last 13 or 14 years. I go every single year, actually. And we always like to go to the Temple Institute. The Temple Institute has been working to recreate all of the furniture for ministration in the temple since the early 1990s. When I first started going there, they had 20% of the furniture completed. A few years later, they were very proud to announce we now have 40% of the furniture needed to resume the temple ministration. And then 3 years later, they said we're 60% done. Then a couple of years ago, 80% done. Well, guess what they told us last year? They looked at us so excited. We're finished. If they build the house of God on the Temple Mount today, we are ready to begin ministration there tomorrow. And you could see by everything they had to say and by the expressions on their face that they were so excited. Well, they're getting ready for the rebuilding of this temple. That's not the end of the story. In the latter part of October, I believe it was October the 13th, the Sanhedrin was reborn in Israel. Now, the Sanhedrin was that body of high Jewish rulers that had placed Jesus Christ on trial along with many of his disciples. The Sanhedrin continued to rule in Israel until about 425, even after the scattering of the nation of Israel throughout the nations. The Sanhedrin continued to function to a degree. However, in 425, they were disbanded and have not existed since that time. But on October the 13th of 2005, the Sanhedrin was reborn. They began to have meetings and to decide where the temple should be built. In June of 2000, actually it was June of 2005, they had a meeting, and in that meeting, they decided to rebuild the temple, to start construction. As soon as I received the email from the Temple Institute, I thought they can't. They can't even go to the Temple Mount. They're not allowed by their own government to pray there. And then I read the last paragraph. They explained, we're going to build the temple off-site like Solomon built the first temple. He decided they should not have the sound of a hammer and all of the noise of construction on the Temple Mount because it was a place that was too holy. So they built the temple off-site and then moved it onto the Temple Mount for construction. Well, the Sanhedrin tells us that they too intend to build the temple off-site because they can't go there. They're going to go ahead and get things ready, for they believe that the time will come soon when they can take their finished temple, move it onto the Temple Mount, quickly assemble it, and begin to resume the worship there that they believe that they should worship. Now, all of these prophecies that I've talked to you about indicate to us where we live right now. Let's review real quickly to make sure we all understand. Number one, an international peace plan for the Middle East is prophesied to be confirmed by the world community for a 7-year period. Such a plan exists right now. It's called the Roadmap for Peace. Number two, a war is prophesied to take place to begin from the area of the Euphrates River. Most of the Euphrates is in Iraq. We have 150,000 troops stationed along the Euphrates River this evening. That war must happen before the final 3.5 years. It makes us wonder exactly where we are right now. And then the Bible says that the West Bank, biblical Judea, will be a place of horrible conflict. Israel is getting ready to withdraw from Judea and leave the Jewish inhabitants of Judea exposed to the treachery and the cruelty of the Palestinians that will come in and displace them. The Palestinians have openly said, we intend to wipe Israel off the map. Jesus said, then shall be great tribulation, such as never has been before, nor ever again shall be. And then finally, the building of the temple. The furniture is 100% finished. Young rabbis are being trained today to know how to minister when the temple is rebuilt. And now the decision has been announced. We're going to start building the temple. All of these prophecies must happen at the same time as the prophecy concerning the cashless society, the mark of the beast. Now remember, the cashless society is to be implemented during the reign of the Antichrist. The Bible explicitly tells us that the Antichrist will reign for 3.5 years or 42 months. Revelation chapter number 13, verse number 5 says, and power was given unto the beast to continue 42 months. He will be revealed at the time of the abomination of desolation. Jesus taught the abomination of desolation happens halfway through that final 7-year period and is the event that will trigger the Great Tribulation. So here we have the picture. All of these prophecies we're talking about today, we're watching them being fulfilled, and they all are around this time period of which I speak to you. The mark of the beast follows these prophecies that we can already see happening right now. And we're going to look very carefully at our key prophecy for today. This prophecy, it's found in the book of Revelation, chapter number 13. And it tells us about that time when every person will have to have a mark or a name or a number in order to buy or sell. Is it time for this prophecy to come to pass? It could never come to pass any earlier. The world has not been technologically ready. Furthermore, all the prophecies that are to accompany the mark of the beast are coming to pass right now. Now here's the question. Since there's going to be a national ID given out in America in 2008, unless we can get that changed, the question has to be, is the national ID that our government already has passed the law and already intends to give out, is the national ID actually going to be the mark of the beast? I don't have to tell you how important the answer to this question is. It's going to affect you, your job, your family, your church, your home. It's going to affect all of our lives. The Bible talks about this time. We've been preaching about it for many, many years now. All of a sudden, we're coming to the crux of the matter. I believe there's a chance America can sit out the mark of the beast. I'm going to show you later why I think prophetically that is true. But the real question is whether we can sit it out or whether we cannot. Can we, in fact, repeal the National ID Act? If not, then what will we do about it? That's what we're going to talk about in the next segment of this program.
End Time Magazine, the most widely circulated prophecy magazine in the world. Founded in 1991 by Irvin Baxter. End Time comes bi-monthly and explains how current world events are fulfilling the prophecies of the Bible.
Now that we've shown that we are close to the fulfillment and living in the time actually of the fulfillment of this prophecy of the cashless society, let's take a look at the actual prophecy itself.